minister, MP for Tamale Central, who served as Minister for Roads 2013 to 2017, owns 20 apartments across 5 luxury buildings with a total of estimated value of $7.240 million. Na Obobako Jumeirah triangle village no who obi ho all the minimum pa baby a yatwe epono ye de dan ko sepono so afa Millennium Place who obi ho afa who obi ho 2 apartments e wo Windham eno ye Marina ne ye baby a yatwe sea no e de aban Marina Resort ho no mi kodim birthday crowd ho come pa and I go Saudi Sky Central Hotel and the one hotel ni nyina e ye odia asemi et say
oh but what story no and first of all story no any accurate
okay
because in the first place let me a minister from 2014 to 2016 or 2017 so that's the first thing. But the second thing is that Ono Ankasa say allegedly, alleged. So because of that, me who story then me refer you some of my lawyers.
Thank you.
Or me say Mami Nkasa be but he says details are still emerging. Until you better details in so. But this could be one of the attempts to deflate the attention that is being drawn on government onto former ministers. And so we have to wait for the details. And my lawyers are stating the story clearly.
Somebody Benefson will take the trouble to call you for verification and now
no, one call me.
Now I'm passing a beer a property by Kubi Krao.
No, let's wait. You see, this matter haven't been published at this time. Say, me, in the office, there were 20 properties in high end. There's a share. What about your say, I mean, in Dubai, it's not only very telling and revealing. It's also a story that goes to the reputation of the individual. And the man change. Let the details emerge. Let my lawyers study so that I don't compromise my rights to take further action on this matter.
Oh, okay. Because who crowd you see an uncle for Sanya Manime, Yamfanta, you will be blue.
So that is why I don't want to speak too much.
Okay.
Na 24-hour economy, mama and papa, mom, fie, mom, yen and moi. John Dramani Mahama said what the modern farming techniques and the deba. Under animal farming. Who call a bit is a pudon or chana. Who call her animal farming? Wouldn't say Jatani Mwaka see elephant near the gum egu farm numbi. And you want to mean Cosset or Quacodo. And I said, oh, caught no could be any. It would set up plantation in the BBA. We are no jam one agum. Not jam one aguma. Obey here almost swap. What would the plain ever fabium? No mas a several and one in any other. Not proud to that, no. What training expert for our moso ever share choir a friend say, or more ever share one so Bobby area, a bit my one of Pania near the other. Nasanyoma way in an air baswa, a bab one or more Marie a Greek, a waggy care, KUST. Legon, woman in Abbey Jumaye.
With all that we are saying, I'm quite confused.
Okay.
I'm confused. I'm confused and I say, animal really no say animal farming no say Jatani winning no a benefits.
Yes, reason is my tourist attraction.
Okay, good.
Because Ukopudon.
Now more of tourism than say animal
number. No, and one Nakasano, who bet me I export to be.
Okay.
Who export to the Nesicano air day, and your money con.
Okay.
Not $dollars. Dollars neighbor, the baby will see Casama a day, Edgina.
Okay.
Proud to that, no. They will make it a exploitation. Movement, however, no, I say, would in your money be economy? Not the economy, would the economy, who be your dollars number. Dollars bar, because country be ana. What can your mom more than your export to be ano? Country now, what near the buffer. And na Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia Baya went to Mania, Wama Hochaba. It's your mom, we are station officers near the Ninano. Won't be near Jumaye. One more year, a for masonry reform. I bet to war, a fancy land in Nina. Almost be near Jumaye. Proud to that. Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Ebaya Okase, obey one district, one factory, went to me. And here are John Dramani Mahama say, under one district, one factory, no, one no dear, obey the embark on agro.
Very well. Good evening to all of you viewers. Thank you very much for your time. It's always a pleasure to come to you. 29 minutes past the top of the hour, 9 o'clock. Forgive me today if I'm not. I don't have the energy. I feel a bit weak, you know. But prior to that, we are going to have different segments of the program today. Prior to that, we will go on the touch screen and we will discuss the free SHS controversy. The free SHS is becoming very complicated. Whilst you know that there's a bill that is being proposed to Parliament for the free SHS to be codified, this will be in keeping with the desires and wishes of one of the intellectuals in Ghana, Dr. Raymond Atuguba, who is currently the Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Ghana. Dr. Atuguba was also executive president to John Dramani Mahama when John Mahama was president between 2013 and 2016. It is also important to remark that Dr. Atuguba did not complete the full 4-year term of President Mahama as executive secretary. He resigned at some point and returned to academia at the University of Ghana, where he now sits at the Ivory Tower as the Dean of the Faculty of Law. He said that the free SHS should be codified as a law in Parliament. The conversation now in Parliament is that the ranking member of the NDC, National Democratic Congress, is unable to accept the bill because they think that the bill has more to do with the legacy of the Grand Akufo-Addo than a useful bill for the progress of education. The NDC's view of the matter is that the 1992 Constitution actually stipulates free SHS. I think that is the most lame argument to make, because if 1992 Constitution stipulates free SHS, 1992 Constitution has been in operation since 7 January 1993. If that were so, then since 7 January 1993, Ghanaians would have been enjoying free secondary education. If I look back, maybe some of us could even have benefited. We were still in secondary school in 1993. So perhaps we could have benefited from that. So that argument is quite lame. The MPP response to the argument rendered by Majority Leader Alexander Markin says that the provisions of the 1992 Constitution being referred to by the NDC are by and large aspirational, because the Constitution says in the Directive Principles of State Policy, Chapter 6 thereof, that there shall be progressively free education towards tertiary. So it's an aspiration. We're taking a front seat in Parliament to observe how that goes. Meanwhile, we have chanced upon some videos where there's still lack of clarity in the free SHS conversation, because Professor Jenna Nopoko-Agyemang, the running mate of John Dramani Mahama for the second time, has said that free SHS was actually initiated by the NDC. And who can better say that than she herself? Because Prof was Minister for Education during the period of the John Dramani Mahama government. Suffice it to say that 2 weeks before, maybe a month before John Dramani Mahama was sworn in as president, Professor Jenna Nopoko-Agyemang was the IEA debate host for the presidential debates, together with Kojo Ponkrumah, then the superstar at Joy FM 99.7. A few months later, after hosting the debate, Jenna Nopoko-Agyemang earned a position, an important cabinet position in John Dramani Mahama's government. Who should we ask? Should we be asking the IEA, or who should we be asking? Anyway, that's a side matter. Tonight, we have so much more. Also, our friend Captain Jacka has been in court. Finally, today, the court saw documents about how Captain Jacka exited the Ghana Armed Forces. Cross-examination today focused largely on that. There was a part of the court process today that was heard in camera. As a result, we do not know what was discussed there, and we don't know. We don't have any information on what was discussed in camera. What we know, though, that what was discussed in the open includes an analysis, an assessment, and an eventual tendering of the documents from the Ghana Armed Forces that discuss Mr. Jacka's role in the armed forces and his forced exit from the armed forces. We'll show all of you, we'll show that on the touch screen. Later today also, we'll get to our big conversation about land grabbing, land issues. What should we do? I'll go back to Ben Doche Malon's post on Facebook last Tuesday, and we will deal with it. Also, Al-Hassan Bello has now got his full grip on the Kenyan situation. I have seen many Ghanaians, did I say many? I have seen Samuel Kujeto Ablakwa, my friend from Presec, calling on Ghanaians to emulate what happened in Kenya. But recently, he put up a successful demonstration. I'm sure he's thinking about the numbers. And as I said here, those of us who are apostles of freedom of association and the rule of law and the fundamental rights guaranteed in Chapter 5 of the 1992 Constitution do not see demonstrations to be marked by a large attendance to be successful. A demonstration is an act that must make an impact and must have a petition that is received. So I'm going to have a demonstration about Brian Achampon's Snit situation, a matter that Elizabeth Ohene, the chairman of Snit, has now spoken about publicly. And he's calling for the Kenya that many, many more Ghanaians should come out. I mean, you cannot force that. If you have a demonstration and people agree with you, they'll come out. But where the situation is the one finger pointing at the opposition, the four fingers are pointing at you. If you do not recognize that when you point one finger at Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia, the four fingers point at you, which means that people are going to assess the credibility of the messenger, not just the message, but the messenger. It is these matters that translates onto the street. So please tell Samuel Kujeto that it's not about that. It's not about telling Ghanaians that, look at what is happening in Kenya, let's do the same thing. It is about remembering that whilst you point one finger, four of the fingers point at you. Viewers, if I point one finger to you now on television, all these four are pointing back at me. So it's always about the credibility of the messenger. Please, are they done with the free SHS montage? Can you check for me? And then we can see how to go on after that. All right. News filtering in since the last 1.5 days indicates that Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia, the vice president and presidential candidate of the New Patriotic Party, has had a meeting with the president and the leader of the New Patriotic Party, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It is reported that the meeting had a one-item agenda, and it was for Mahamudu Bawumia to tell the president who and whom he has been considering to make his running mate. Of course, by now you know that I didn't make the list. I failed woefully to make the list. And so news is filtering in that only one person was on the list that Dr. Bawumia gave to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It is reported further that next week, Monday, there will be a Council of Elders meeting where J.A. Kufuor will be attending at the MPP party office. The meeting will be chaired by the party chairman, Stephen Intim. It will be attended by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. It will be attended by Nanaya Osafo Mafo. It will be attended by the regional chairman, including Chairman Wuntumi from Ashanti. And at that meeting, all will be told that Dr. Bawumia has selected his running mate and is now ready with the full ticket to hit the ground for December 2024. What an election we are going to have. What a campaign we are going to be covering. I can't wait for the campaign. Anyway, free SHS. Who brought free SHS? Who didn't bring free SHS? Who was opposed to it? Who was not opposed to it? This is an important phenomenon. I think that the free SHS has made Akufo-Addo to be the politician of the Fourth Republic who punctuates Fourth Republican politics more than any other person. He launched this program in campaign 2008. Since then, free SHS has been pivotal to every campaign since 2008. We thought that it would not be part of 2024. It has come back right into the center. What a politician Akufo-Addo is. In 2008, he said, we will conduct free SHS. It was part of the campaign. It was a big part of the campaign. 2012 was a big part of the campaign. Rumors has it that after the 2012 elections was declared, Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, the former president, went to President Mahama, congratulated him for winning, and told him that whilst he had won the election, it is the free SHS that won the campaign. This is where that is around that I believe. That JJ told John Mahama, please, sorry. Okay, JJ told John Mahama that you have won the election. You have been declared the winner of the election. But what actually won this election was the free SHS campaign. And therefore, Mr. Mahama, hand in hand, as JJ begged him, you have to implement free SHS. If you don't, it will come to hunt you and hunt our party for a very, very long time. Anyone who has heard this information, either from your father or from your grandfather, send us a text on Good Evening Ghana Official. What's the story again? If you just joined us. The story is that rumors has it, word has it, that after 2012's election, J.J. Rawlings went to John Mahama, congratulated him for winning, and told him that you have won the election, you've been declared the winner of the election. But what actually won this campaign was the free SHS policy. So, now that you are president, please implement it. Mr. Mahama heeded to the advice. He did. And then he began to think about how to implement free SHS. That's why sometimes he says that he started it. Maybe he started developing the thinking. But as word had it, when he called upon his finance minister, Mr. Setekwe, he told him that it was completely impossible, Mr. President. We cannot, under no circumstance, can this budget support free SHS. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to dig such a big hole for Ghana. It is not recoverable. This free SHS is not workable. It's workable only in 10 years. The 10 years concept or the 10 years narrative was repeated by some NDC people. Eventually, in 2016, Akufo-Addo was elected with the biggest majority of the Fourth Republic, some people believe on the back of free SHS. Akufo-Addo himself had confrontation with his own cabinet. In cabinet in 2017, his ministers told him that, Mr. President, this is going to be difficult. And he said, I cannot. Whatever it is, whatever you do, you have to implement free SHS. So the compromise in their meeting was that, okay, let's not do a wholesale implementation. Let's begin with SS1. We go to SS2 and SS3. And today, 2024, secondary school in Ghana is absolutely free. A lot of conversation has been had about it. It is not good. The food they are giving them is bad. Is that. But the outcomes are clear. If you check the WASI results, the performance of the young people, you will see that a lot more people have participated. The biggest beneficiaries of free SHS, though, are those people who had done SS1 or SS2 and dropped out because they couldn't pay. They were allowed by their former schools. St. Peter's is one example, where at least 3 students were allowed to come back to complete because now they didn't need to pay fees. That is a significant stigma, if you like, in the politics of Ghana's Fourth Republic. So now, let's see this short montage about who owns free SHS, who doesn't own it, who likes it, and who doesn't like it. And why is it becoming an issue again for 2024? How many election cycles? 2008, 12, 16, 20, 24. 5 election cycles in a matter of 20 years, and one single topic continues to dominate the election because one politician rose up one day and said, I will put the taxpayers' money to educate my people. I want them to be like Singapore. I want them to be like Japan. I want them to be like China. That decision has animated 5 elections in Ghana. In 2024, is coming back to the center again about free SHS. Who likes it? Who doesn't like it? Who wants it? Who doesn't want it? Hear and see this montage.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's make a no be at as you say. Free SHS.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's make a no be at as you say. Free SHS.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's make a no be at as you say. Free SHS.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
That's a meka no be ati as I say. A year free SHS. Yen de buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
I was sent to unity from peace. I rise for God.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's a meka no be ati as I say. A year free SHS. Yen de buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's a meka no be ati as I say. A year free SHS. Yen de buy.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's a meka no be ati as I say. A year free SHS. Yen de buy.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
That's a meka no be ati as I say. A year free SHS. Yen de buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
Professor Jenano Pokwajiman says free SHS no yen de buy. President Mahama says Ghana must not introduce free SHS, the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician. Fifi Kwete says when you hear Akufo-Addo and co going around, that's what is all lie, be lie. They will not be able to achieve it. So which is which? Jenano Pokwajiman says we have to believe Jenano Pokwajiman because after all, she was a minister for education. Professor Jenano Pokwajiman was a minister for education. Yeah, Prof. Notsidane. I hope the campaign is going well. I understand that you were saying that free SHS now one was a bay. Hey, Prof. Oboyo, one was a bay, I sure. Oh, Prof. Fifi Kwete is asama can or all lie be lie. Or nyamena me can. Fifi Kwete also there asama can or all lie be lie there. Free SHS one was a bay. Oh, now Prof. Where a vice chancellor okay vasi. Na free SHS be owa. Na if you also ebe here I debate we join the John Mahama the government. What shall when you nyamo education minister? Free SHS bia. Na eka that one was by not share then. Into na Fifi Kwete is in there all lie be lie no. Oh, Prof. Also then mafi. Hey, Assembly 2024 election. All right. Let me see the Dr. Baumia. Who is he shaking hands with? He's shaking hands with somebody in the cartoon. Yes, there we go. Okay. Aha. So it's beginning to look like this. It's beginning to look like this. Word has it that Alhaji Mahamudu Bawumia has held a discussion with Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic and leader of the New Patriotic Party. Of course, Nana Addo has handed the leadership of the party to Dr. Bawumia, but he is the emeritus leader of the party. And so, Dr. Baumia went to the emeritus professor and told him that, Chief, whilst I know that there's National Council meeting next week, please permit me to have a conversation with you. Mr. President said, come in, my Vice President. How is the campaign? He said, the campaign is good. Are we winning? He said, Mr. President, we are pushing. It is possible, it is possible. And all of them laughed. And this is my own story, please. They all laughed when they said it's possible. And then he said, what brings you to my office? He said, well, Mr. President, I think I've come to the decision. He said, great. What is the decision? I've been there before, so tell me. He said, after all the heckling, talking to people and checking, I think I've settled on somebody. Okay, who is this person? He gave the name to the president. We are hearing that the name he gave to president was Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh. If that turns out to be correct, and there's all the pundits believe that that was correct. If that turns out to be correct, then it will be a straight fight about education. Education Minister delivering free SHS, Education Minister who originated free SHS. Jenna Nopokwajiman versus Matthew Poku Prempeh will clash basa basa basa. Aye, where are you? Organize a debate, please. Organize a debate. Or Metro TV should do it. Organize a debate, vice presidential debate. Jenna Nopokwajiman versus Matthew Poku Prempeh on education. John Dramani Mahama versus Dr. Baumia on development, economics, politics for the presidential candidates and for the running mates. Education, education, education. I didn't say that. Tony Blair, the former British Prime Minister, when he was asked what is his priority during the famous 1997 campaign, he said he has 3 priorities for the British people: education, education, education. That's what Tony Blair said, 1997. He implemented a super education policy, and 10 years after his government, all the traffic goes to the United Kingdom for people to learn, do their masters, do their first degree, etc., etc. There's a huge global traffic that goes to education. UK benefits from education tourism more than many, many countries in the world, because Prime Minister Tony Blair in 1997 decided that education was going to be his priority. In Ghana, as an African country, education certainly should be our priority. So in going to 2024 elections, let's see what happens. The official announcement is due later next week, I believe. When that comes, we'll always do a montage for it. We'll tell the story, we'll tell the history, we'll tell you where it's coming from. We'll go back to other running mates, we'll look at the analysis, we'll do the graph and the pie chart and see the chances, the demerits, the merits, etc., etc. We'll do all that. So, good luck to everyone. Now, we were in court, were we not? What's this again? Okay, oh yeah, this one. Yeah, that's Ben Doche Malone. Can you imagine view? This is what Ben Doche Malone said. Ghana for sale. Tertiary shooting range, sold. Children's park, sold. State lands in cantonment, sold. Why? How? What was he talking about, Ben Doche Malone? What was he talking about? I get very upset when I see these things. What is he? You live in London. You saw London. You want our country to be grass for 25 years. We shouldn't build skyscrapers. It is not about a day selling. It's about what kind of sale was done. How transparent was it? What is the offer? What's the person going to develop? That is what the question is. It's not just to write. I mean, a very senior journalist writes this propagandist message like that. Totally propagandist. He doesn't say nothing. He doesn't explain anything. He's like oh, please. Shooting range sold. Children's park sold. State land sold. If you want to campaign for NDC, Mr. Doche Malone, you are entitled to do so. Me too, I'm campaigning for NDC. We are all campaigning for NDC. That's no problem. But don't do these things because you are a very senior person. You are a proper journalist, senior man like that. I mean, why? Even me, I won't do this. Ben Doche Malone, not again. After the break, Richard Jacka was in the dock again. We'll be right back.
So what am I watching Papa Fiana?
This is my secret. Give us P capsules. Pema, I want to go from now on to me to my ding one pen. Give us P capsules. Over do as a mama. Oh no, enemy lawyer.
And to lawyer no na show bottom. Are you bro? Then I found upon machine Baba Chiamwa as a Niji. No. You nephew, I can't wait. The friend give us cold capsules. Say yes, is Yara and the wall swore. Cold, did you nip a dream when in our walk for Sa a mamma and to me, my wound, I would name you. Wouldn't give us cold capsules, sir. Obey your free lawyer. Give us cold capsules. And I give us P capsules. Hey, and they give us free.
And men what if you do what you do cronquan ever. Give us core capsules. A pain for a batter, one more menu for an inquadawin if you do me a nunca.
Are you looking to own a prime piece of litigation-free land where you can put up your dream family home or your ideal getaway retreat within a luxurious estate? Then look no further. Welcome to Rehoboth Hills, where your dream of hassle-free land ownership comes to life. Acquire land devoid of multiple purchases, litigation, and land guard issues in a safe and secure gated community while enjoying the fabulous night view of Accra from the serene Ebri Mountains. Rehoboth Hills offers spacious plots that provide you with the ideal setting for your dream home and a valuable, safe investment for your future. The lands are located in the prime area of Ayarifa within our residential development Rehoboth Hills, overlooking the city of Accra and the Ebri Mountains. Our prices are very affordable and designed to fit your budget. We offer flexible payment terms, ensuring that you can invest in a valuable asset for the future. Contact us on 0244 764 499 or 0204-950-810 or visit our website at www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com. Rehoboth Properties, quality housing for all.
Ghana for Mama Dead yo. May the dead number. Dead spices I would run in every Jacka. And you never know,
If we come your job away, no use dead spice. We don't go job. If I don't feel
Fish the inside. Yeah, the natural spices, Papa na yeah.
Noodles unaveza. Everywhere you go, dead spices.
Just the one.
No more dead spices. Aji baby,
Blood, tasting a chicken.
Kaji, go. But dead spices, yeah, what Jenny say. Nanya good taste. If we say, yeah, the natural spices, and yeah, you're gonna hey yao. Annie, you want all purpose, stew, noodles, curry, and nutmeg, and a jollof. Dead spices, taste yummy, taste lemon. Dead spices, taste day inside. FDIG, a good day in Kratoya too.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Specialists in every kind of bone disease.
Bar Herbal Hospital. Baby, a son of a beer. And so, Yarets in the Sapa, don't pay me.
Spinal cord, swelling of the arms, arthritis, bone injury, swelling of the leg with reddish color around it, and so on. See, Bar Herbal Hospital has special ultra-modern machine for checking up the body. I have tried them and I got good results. Try Bar Herbal Hospital.
We are back bringing you the latest lineup from Betway. Betway starts strong with their front two with Free Play Friday and Swipe Bet. In the middle, you've got all the control with Cash Out and Build a Bet. Plus, with Win Boost, you can boost your sports bets. At the back, they have Smart Picks and the Partial Daily Jackpot. You always get way more with Betway.
Cyphers have been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet responsibly. No under 18. Terms and conditions apply. Betway. Get way more.
In today's modern world, Stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair missy way.
The patch of Bantama.
Matias.
It's her smile, the fresh breath.
Me, Gidi said we used to Kel 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Kel 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Kel 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector. Onim jom kasa. Kile hosen. Kel 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You so feeling kika when you know Kel 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Kel 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
I'm laughing because of the text messages that people are sending me. You people, I'll read the text aloud though. You people sending me, my friends who are sending me text, I'll read it aloud and everybody will see how you are. Good evening to Mr. Kofi Bame, my great friend, who is most likely watching at Redco in on the Medina Adenta Road. Uncle Kofi, I'll come and see you and I'll come. And then also, Mienshat. Mienshat is watching as well. Mienshat. Okay. Let me take the text messages beginning with Antoinette and see what we got. And then we'll mount the screen for the Jacka story. We have the land story. Apparently, Elizabeth Ohini has responded in their capacity as chairman of Snit. We'll read her response. One of the finest journalistic brains, Elizabeth Ohini. We'll be listening to her as well. And we'll get to Kenya. And today we have a conversation with the Petroleum Hub. There's something happening in Ghana called the Petroleum Hub. It's a big deal. It's a real big deal. A young man is coming to the studio. He's been dreaming these ideas of Petroleum Hub, and he's almost there. He has now gotten government's endorsement to deliver a Petroleum Hub. Actually, Ghanaians are brutal. Young Ghanaians are doing so well. The next 15 years, this country is going to explode, but it all depends on the ballot because elections has consequences. 2024 election would have consequences. Vote wisely. Antoinette, what are people saying?
Thank you, Paul. So starting from Alex Nyako's message, he says John Mahama himself said in 2012 that free SHS could be feasible only in 20 years' time, which is somewhere around 2033. So why are the NDC claiming that they brought the free SHS? Now the congratulatory messages have already started coming in from Kwame Amprako. He says, congratulations, Dachin Dr. Matthew Opoku Pempe. And Master Planner says Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is the best choice to partner Dr. Bawumia in the run-up for the 2024 general elections. Breaking the 8 is possible with Dr. and Dr. Regards to Honorable Isaac Bafo Ameyao, the MCE and incoming MP for Kentampo North. Alhaji Bob Sidi says, Paul, there is actually one campaign against the free SHS that goes like, free education is 419. It was led by the NDC food soldiers a while ago. Salmon Major is against Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh's appointment, and he says he is the one that said diploma teachers are actually unintelligent. So why is he the one being appointed? Now, Kasim Abu Sadiq says the journey to breaking the 8 has come to fruition by DNB choosing Napo as a running mate. The pair is really the future that Ghanaians have been waiting for. It is indeed possible by the might of Allah. Now, Roxanne Asante says, good evening, Paul. The NDC members have avoided the academic credentials and embraced propaganda, making it a big issue for them to articulate their intentions. The masses of the Ghanaians are learning and departing from the NDC. Kwame Lewis says, Paul, I actually like university professors, but you know, we shouldn't hold them up as the high water mark of all human achievements. They are just a form of life and another form of life. When Professor Nana was education minister, she couldn't help the NDC to implement the free SHS, but Napo as education minister helped the NPP to implement the free SHS. Interesting times ahead. Now, Alhaji Yusuf Husseini says, Paul, there actually shouldn't be a debate on who brought the free SHS. If NDC's former Minister of Education, Jane Nana Opoku Agyemang, must put up the names of students who enjoyed their free education, what has the NDC achieved in their era that was not captured in their infamous Green Book? Maybe the NPP must pull out the advertisement that the NDC sponsored against the free SHS. Fifi Kwete, their current NDC General Secretary, wishes he can withdraw the video evidences against him. Does double tongue and lie mean anything to the NPP? And lastly, Master Planner says again that the same NDC who are saying that free SHS, who are against free SHS is destroying our educational sector, are the same people saying they implemented the free SHS. The NDC sponsored over 39 adverts against the free SHS and said it can only be implemented in 30 years to come. And lastly, Evans Tete Aye says the president is actually not the leader of the NPP. It is only Dr. Baumia who is currently the leader of the NPP and can help the NPP break the 8. What is Zanzibar?
Alfred is saying the NDC has never liked the free SHS policy because of no reason. Be that as it may, the NPP must of absolute necessity break the 8 to save Ghana from John Mahama, period. Gabriel Tete says, Paul is the most intelligent journalist. Efo is saying, Okujeto should let his wife lead the uprising. Pekudame is saying, Okujeto is a noisemaker. He has no credibility himself, but would just hoodwink gullible Ghanaians with his childish tantrum. Clement is saying, the best educational policy in Ghana, free SHS. Maoko is saying, propaganda-driven agenda. Lastly, from Master Plan, okay, this has been read. This from Prince, Paul and research, proper journalism. And lastly, from Nana Boache, NDC couldn't maintain nurse and teachers allowance. How can we trust them? Fatih.
All right, so this is coming from Safiano Adams from Pusiga, and he says, when in 2016, NPP as an opposition party was seriously preferring policies and programs for the future of this country, NDC, an opposition group today, has rather been busy with character assassination, insults, and warmongering. No wonder they've wasted 8 years of opposition. They can't come out with a confusion-free policy. The biggest trouble for any NDC communicator today is asking him to explain their scam so-called 24 hours economy. Now, coming from Ikiada, he says John Dramani Mahama served as assemblyman. He didn't make any significant change in his community. Served as MP, no show at all. Vice President, no show. President, the worst ever, to the extent that he did only a term. So what can he do in 4 years? Now, coming from Brookman, he says households who benefited from the free SHS should show gratitude by voting for the NPP in 2024 election. It's a point worth considering, as the policy has indeed made a significant impact on many families. Now, coming from Alhaji Yusuf Hussein, he says, I've never seen a witness so bruised in a criminal case than Richard Jacka. I think he should have pleaded guilty to prevent this embarrassment from coming.
he has complicated his case and that of Atoforsen. But prior to that, the lions and tigers are waiting to catch them. Coming from Master Planner Jr. from Kentan Places, Dr. Matthew Poco-Prempeh is the best choice to partner Dr. Bawumia in the run-up to 2024 general elections. Breaking the 8 is possible with Dr. and Dr. And then lastly, coming from Awudi Tijani says, the hypocrisy of the NDC is alarming. They claim they support free SHS, but their previous actions clearly demonstrate their opposition to it. We cannot forget the truth and remarkable progress we have made thus far. John Mahama's running mate, who was also the education minister at the time, even had the education minister at the time had the audacity to inform parents that they would have to pay for their children's electricity bills while in senior high school. Let us vote for Dr. Bawumia and the NPP to sustain the remarkable policies we have made in free SHS. To you, Ella.
All right, so this is from Yusuf Mahama. He says, good evening, for Paul from New Fadama. The NDC want to use their lives to take power and put us in suffering in this country. And no wonder, because John Mahama told us that Ghanaians have a short-term memory. During his time as president, he put us in Dumso, and now he wants to come back to destroy what the showman, Mr. President Nana, has done. Inshallah, Dr. Bawumia is breaking the 8 in 2024. May Allah bless Nanaldo and Dr. Bawumia and you, Paul, for opening our eyes on this lovely show, Good Evening Ghana. This one is from Jay. He says, those saying Bawumia becoming president is just like Ruto. Forget that Mahama was vice president and begged to become president, saying that he is a spare driver. He became president and drove the country to ruin. President Ruto fell out with his boss before he became president. Mahama fell out with his boss before he became president. This one is from Douglas Kumi. He says, Professor Jane didn't see that failed agri minister under whose watch agri grew negative videos on free SHS and what of that particular incompetent one. Dr. Jane is lying to us Ghanaians. This is also from Kwesi Opoku. He says, so NDC and Mahama were the desperate and whimsical people Mahama was talking about in this particular video. This is from Mohammed. He says that my favorite program, Good Evening Ghana, official kudos to Paul for always doing this. Also, this is also from Baba Chairman. He says the NDC is always consistent in their inconsistencies. More congratulations are coming in from Napo and how he is very deserving on this particular position. Lastly, from Gina Agba, he says, for me, I always maintain and submit that Ghanaians should never make the mistake and say that we are going to vote for NDC to come back into power. It is a bigger mistake than we can ever make. May God forbid. Paul, back to you.
Master Planner Jr. from Kintampo says, apart from the coming back of Jesus Christ, the next thing I'm waiting to hear is Fifi Kwete's explanation of the 24-hour economy. I am laughing already. Master Planner, thank you very much for watching. It's always a pleasure coming to you. Okay, what's the time? 12, 13 minutes past 10 o'clock. What did you say? Okay. You said 11 minutes past 10, but the clock here shows a bit more than that. All right. I was going to say something. I need the montage. I need a montage to get it. Now, yes, this is what I was going to say. Some of the text messages, some of you are saying that you are congratulating us for the research, etc. We accept the congratulations, but you have to congratulate our viewers. The viewers, the things they send to me, and I have to be thank God that I've not changed my phone number for several 100 years. So my phone number has been the same for a very, very long time. So it's easy to get my phone number. And then they've been sending me stuff. Right now, a viewer sent me the significant part of the Jacka issue, the Richard Jacka issue. He says to me, Paul, take a look at the person who signed Jacka's letter. And I said, oh, wow, you are right. I'm going to let you in on that secret, viewers. The person who signed Jacka's letter, the brigade commander, as we call it in the Burma camp, now they call him Southern Command. They've made it, the brigade commander is a soldier one, but now they made it civil society nicely, so people are not afraid of soldiers. So they say Southern Command, but it's brigade commander. They used to call him #1 brigade commander. The Kumasi one is #2 brigade commander. That's very frightening. But now they say Southern Command, so that is nice. So the brigade commander who signed Jacka's letter, He just sent me the thing. He said, look, have a look at this. Your Abema Camp. Don't you know who that is? I said, I very know who that is. Wow. That's completely interesting. I shall let you in on that. The one who signed Jacque's dismissal letter. Who is he and who is he married to? Very interesting, isn't it? Okay. Too many requests for us to show the free SHS montage again. Someone says that I just got home and on my platform, St. Augustine's 94, everybody is talking about some free SHS montage you just showed. So I want to see it. Me too, I want to see it. Do you want to see it? Even if you don't want to see it, please see it. It's a movie starring John Dramani Mahama, Jane Nano Pokwajema, Fifi Kwete, and some NDC supporters, and all of us. We are all starring in the movie. Here is the montage again, free SHS.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
Pesa meka no obi ate ase say free SHS. Yen ye buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
Pesa meka no obi ate ase say free SHS. Yen ye buy.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
Pesa meka no obi ate ase say free SHS. Yen ye buy.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
Pesa meka no obi ate ase say free SHS. Yen ye buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
Thank you very much. On now to serious business. The game has started. So tonight, earlier today in the Ifeasewa's High Court, the Attorney General Godfrey Adame mounted the stage to cross-examine Richard Jacka in the second part of the cross-examination. The first part was done by Deputy Attorney General, former President of the Brunei Afro Regional Bar, Alfred Tua Yeboah. These are the details of what emerged in the court. And as you know, the matter is still in court. And so in making this presentation, we are merely reporting what's happening in court. We are not going to make any prejudicial statements relating to how we think the outcome would be. We're sharing with you so that you understand what happened in court. So this is a court report. Case Lato Forsen is the defendant and the Republic is the prosecution. So the key points that came out of today's court were three. As always, we will isolate the key points for you viewers and then we go into them, delve into them one after the other. So the first part of what happened in court was the admission of Jacque's dismissal letter from the Ghana Armed Forces into evidence. That letter was admitted into evidence. The second one is, after a bit of struggle, it was admitted to evidence. The second one is, as you see on the screen, the legality of the Big C agreement. And that's important because the Attorney General has been stressing that the agreement, the ambulance agreement, it's being an international contract, pursuant to the provisions of 1992 Constitution. I believe Article 289 or so, I can't remember well, had to go to Parliament. It needed parliamentary approval. So the Parliament of 2012 looked at it and they approved it. The fact here is that the Big C company was not part of what was approved by Parliament. And that's what it means about the legality of the Big C agreement. Big C is the company that Richard Jacka was an agent for, the company that was to deliver the ambulances that Richard Jacka was representing in Ghana. Okay, the next one is issues about the commission paid to Richard Jacka. As you all know, viewers, at the end of the day, Kesela Tuforsen is being prosecuted for occasioning financial loss to the state. Now, the financial loss to the state for which Mr. Tuforsen is being prosecuted is 2.1 million euros or so, significant amount of money. It turns out in court today that Richard Jacka earned from the taxpayer 700,000 euro for no work done, absolutely no work done. That's what came up in court today. This is very interesting. You now see how people who are desperate to record, people are fighting, because I think they knew that this day will come, and they were hoping to prevent this day from coming. That is why they file a mistrial. That is why they do a press conference. They say they have some tape, because they don't want us to know that Richard Jacka, Ghanaian taxpayers, MPP foot soldiers, NDC foot soldiers, me, I'm one of them. We are all foot soldiers. Listen, Richard Jacka took 700,000 euro of your money. Those of you who are shouting, Richard Jacka, the guy in the box, he said in court today, admitted that he has collected 700,000 euro of the Ghanaian taxpayers' money into his pockets for being a representative of a company that was to deliver ambulance that did not deliver a single ambulance. Your money, my money, has gone into his pocket, 700,000. And Johnson Asiedu Ketia was presenting this guy as a paragon of virtue at a press conference together with Samuel Jemfi, the National Propaganda Secretary of the National Democratic Congress. They together held a press conference, presented Richard Jacka as a paragon of virtue. They did not tell us, and they always don't tell us the whole truth. They did not tell us that the said Richard Jacka had benefited from the taxpayers' money, 700,000 euro. Viewer looking at me, Kwesi Mensah in Aboba, Kofi in Takrade, Mansa in Kumasi, have you collected 700,000 euro of the taxpayers' money for no work done? If you have done the work, the taxpayer needs to pay you, no problem. Richard Jacka took 700,000 euro of the taxpayers' money into his pocket. Now you understand why they said mistrial. We don't want the trial. We don't want the Attorney General. Godfrey Dame is a bad boy. Take him out. You see how Sami Jemfi was saying Godfrey Dame is evil, because they knew that if the trial progresses, Ghanaians are going to turn their guns on anyone who has taken their money. And that is Richard Jacka. Let's move on. Admission of Jacka's dismissal letter from the Ghana Armed Forces. The prosecution, led by Alfred Tuyayeboa, Deputy Attorney General, sought to tender the dismissal letter which terminated the employment of Richard Jacka in the army into evidence. This was faced by an objection by Thaddeus Sori, who attacked the relevance of the document. Tamaklo, who sought to alert his counterpart on his feet to say that the evidence was self-serving, was scolded by the court when the court asked whether he, Tamaklo, skipped his law of evidence classes. Hey, this was a bit dramatical. The court subsequently admitted the letter into evidence. So the story here is that when they tendered the letter, that this is the letter of Richard Jacka, the man in the dock, this is the letter of Richard Jacka, and that the prosecution sought to tender that in evidence, Thaddeus Sori, counsel for the defense, raised the objection and said that it wasn't relevant. Whilst Basit Bamba was on his feet, court report says that Tamaklo was telling Basit Bamba, I believe in his very arrogant connotation, Tamaklo, very, very arrogant boy. In his very arrogant connotation, he was telling Basit Bamba that, now I can say that about Tamaklo because I've hosted him on Good Evening Ghana and praised his work as a going to Supreme Court for Senator Rollins. But since then, the guy has become so brutally arrogant, I just stay away from him. I saw him at a funeral. The way the guy behaved, I just stay away from him. I don't know how people, just something small, NDC legal, that just gets into their head and they think that they become some, hey, take your time, Oga, relax. There's a long way ahead. Relax, relax. He rose up in court, giddy, to tell Basit Bamba his senior. Basit Bamba taught even me, Basit Bamba taught me, so he's his senior cry. But he's his colleague in the court, he's a counterpart. He was telling Basit Bamba that the evidence is self-serving. Then the court, when lawyers say the court, they mean the judge. Then the court told him that, did you skip your evidence lecture? Sit down. That's why we said the court scolded him. In the conclusion, the court admitted the evidence. What was in the letter that was written by the Ghana Armed Forces? And who signed it? Let's go to that. This is the letter. Army Headquarters, Burma Camp, Accra, 77539 something. 12 September 2007. Reference, Army number, please. Release from service for unsatisfactory conduct. Lieutenant Richard Jacka. These are the details. The above named officer was commissioned into the Armor Corps as a regular officer on 21st August 1998. All things being equal, the officer should have made the rank of captain on 21st August 2002 and a major on 21st August 2007. He has consistently failed his promotion exams and now lags behind his mates in rank. Also, his service with the colours has been largely unsatisfactory, marked by consistent fraudulent conduct, abrasiveness, and general indiscipline. Viewers, note the words that were used, and I'll come to the one who signed it. His service with the colours has been largely unsatisfactory, marked by consistent fraudulent conduct, abrasiveness, and general indiscipline. 2. In addition, Lieutenant Richard Jacka has incessantly been indebted to various people / institutions during the period. An example was his long indebtedness to Recce Regiment PRI to the tune of $300, which he was unable to pay till authority was sought for the amount to be deducted from his salary. Wow. Throughout his service life, Lieutenant Richard Jacka of number GH2899 has proved consistently that he belongs to a world incompatible with the decent and gentlemanly composure that the Presidential Commission confers on officers of the Ghana Armed Forces. He is a bad example by all standards, and his continued retention in the service is likely to cause more harm to the service and to himself. Indeed, in May 2004, a special report submitted on him by his commanding officer suggested that the officer had reached his ceiling. 3 years on, his new commanding officer describes his conduct as shameful and regrettable. Paragraph 4. From the foregoing, the continued retention of Lieutenant Jacka is not in the best interest of the Ghana Armed Forces and indeed himself. It has accordingly been decided that Lieutenant Jacka be released from the service forthwith. I am therefore directed to request that Lieutenant Jacka be released from the service for inefficiency under Article 15, Item 2A, through continued lack of application of interest, and Item 2C, unsatisfactory conduct of the Armed Forces Regulations, Volume 1 Admin, respectfully submitted. Great. Signed, Brigadier General M.K.G. Ahiaglo for Chief of Army Staff. Leave it there. Who is Brigadier General Ahiaglo? That's the question. Brigadier General Ahiaglo became the Southern Command Commander when Professor Mills was president. And when John Mahama became president, Brigadier Ahiaglo had retired from the service and he was made the Director General of the Ghana National Lotteries. To all intents and purposes, Brigadier General Ahiaglo, may he rest in peace, was friendly to the National Democratic Congress. To all intents and purposes. And why do I say that? And there's nothing wrong with that. Because Brigadier General Ahiaglo was Southern Command Commander during the Mills era. And during the Mahama era, after he had retired from the service, the government of President Mahama found it necessary to keep him within the government sector, and he became a chief executive of the Ghana National Lotteries Authority. Who is Brigadier General Ahiaglo's wife? My very good friend and a woman that I thoroughly admire, Jifa Gomashi, the member of parliament for Keta or Ketu South. Please check. Jifa Gomashi is a member of parliament. Is it Keta or Ketu South? I'm not sure. Keta. There's no Keta South, though. It's Ketu South or Keta. Yes. This is Jifa Gomashi, the famous actress. Great woman, fantastic woman. She was Deputy Minister of Tourism. That is NDC Deputy Minister of Tourism. NDC Member of Parliament for K2 South. That is Jifa Gomashi. This is Jifa Gomashi's late husband, General Ahiaglo, who signed the dismissal letter to Richard Jacka. Are you getting the things, viewers? So all this political witch hunting, and it doesn't seem to hold. The allegations of political witch hunting that has been presented in favor of Richard Jacka doesn't seem to hold. This is General Ahiaglo who signed your letter. And all of these words inside was seen by General Ahiaglo, and he must have concurred on those words to sign out Richard Jacka. General Ahiaglo was married to Jifa Gomashi, who is still a member of parliament for Ketu South for the National Democratic Congress. So Richard Jacka, the people who took you out of the armed forces are not Kwame Adokufo. He was defense minister. It's not John Ajekum Kufuor. He was president. It is the people you work with who found that you had unsatisfactory conduct. Now, viewers, let's come back to the question. Johnson Asiedu Ketia is a chairman of the National Democratic Congress, a big political party. Johnson Asiedu Ketia had been a member of parliament before. Forget about Samuel Jamefi. He's young. He's like me. We are all young. We make mistakes. Forget about Samuel Jamefi. Johnson Asiedu Ketia is not young. He's a seasoned politician. And he must have some patriotic streak within him because he's been a member of parliament before. Did he ask himself, who is Richard Jacka? What is his background? What is in the case? What is happening before he conducted that press conference presenting Richard Jacka as a paragon of virtue? The man that Asiedu Ketia presented as a paragon of virtue, these are the words that the armed forces used for him. He's a bad example by all standards. And his continued retention in the service is likely to cause more harm to the service and to himself. Indeed, in May 2004, a special report submitted on him by the commanding officer suggested that the officer had reached his ceiling. 3 years on, his new commanding officer described his conduct as shameful and regrettable. From the foregoing, the continued retention of Lieutenant Jacka is not in the best interest of the Ghana Armed Forces, indeed himself. It has accordingly been decided that Lieutenant Jacka be released from the service. This is the character of the person that the National Democratic Congress, 6 months to election, presented as a paragon of virtue to Ghanaians, who has conducted a recording of the Attorney General and who is happy that he has conducted a recording of the Attorney General and that he has found something in what the Attorney General in the recording said. The court, led by his lordship, said that he has listened to the tape 10 times. Nowhere did the Attorney General say that you should incriminate anybody. But this was the focus of Johnson Asiedu Ketia's campaign. You may not be a supporter of the National Democratic Congress, but that doesn't matter. It is important that the leaders of Ghana, because of the youth and because of the future, they must have a certain streak of standard. Johnson Asiedu Ketia should not be able to present somebody who an important institution of states like the Ghana Armed Forces has said these things about him. At the minimum, they should have checked or at least interviewed Richard Jacka. Who are you? How did you get into this contract? What? They should have done that. Maybe they did. Maybe they did not. I don't know. But this is the end of the story. You see how sometimes it's important for patience? When the story broke, everybody was doing cake. Wait, let us get there. The same said Richard Jacka has also pocketed 700,000 euro. Ask Sami Jemfi that question. President Mahama has a press conference next week. Journalists, ask him that question. That President Mahama, raise your hand. They'll call you. Kofi Mensah from Oyerepa FM. You come. You say, President Mahama, good evening. Thank you very much. Please, records show that Richard Jacka had been released from the armed forces on very bad behavior. Do you support and endorse the press conference carried out by Johnson Asiedu Ketia, the chairman of your party, who is seated next to you, and Samuel Jemfi, the national propaganda secretary of your party, who is also seated there? They carried a press conference on this character and presented him to Ghanaians as a paragon of virtue. Mr. President, do you support that? And then you go and sit down. Those days, that's the questions we used to ask those days. Me, I will not attend the press conference. I'll be listening to it on radio. Anyway, General, I salute. General Ahiaglo, may he rest in peace. Jifa Gomashi, one of the women that I thoroughly admire from the days at National Theatre. This is General Ahiaglo and his wife. This is General Ahiaglo who signed the Jacka's letter. This is him. May he rest in eternal peace. This is General Ahiaglo who signed Richard Jacka's letter. He was the chief executive of the National Lottery Authority. General, those days in John Mohammed's period. Before then, he was the brigade commander, the Southern Command. Very, very strong soldier. He lived all his life at Labadi Villas. I knew him since I was 7 years old. This General Ahiaglo, he passed not too long ago. May he rest in eternal peace. So this is Richard Jacka. Let's get back to the story. Where are we? The legality of the Big C contract. So Jacka admitted to the court today that indeed the contract, specifically to use the Big C convert, specifically to use the Big C to convert the buses to ambulances, had not been approved by Parliament. Further, it was revealed in court that the contract to Big C to convert the buses to ambulances was in 2012. Whereas the same Big C had only got its license to convert buses to ambulances in 2015. Meaning from 2012 and 2015, there was a subsisting contract when Big C didn't have the license to perform the contract. Let me just explain this to you viewers a little bit. So as we said, pursuant to the 1992 Constitution, the Big C contract had to go to Parliament, isn't it? It did. Did I say Big C? The ambulance contract had to go to Parliament. The documents that went to Parliament did not have Big C in there. Somehow in 2015, it is suggested that Big C was smuggled into the contract. This has been the subject matter of the conversation between the Attorney General and Richard Jacka, for which Jacka says that Attorney General said he should say something. The conversation suggests that Attorney General was telling him that your company was not in the parliamentary approval and you need to admit this in court, because if you do not admit it, you will come out as an untruthful witness and it will be difficult for any clemency to be given to you. This is a conversation Attorney General had with him. That listen, your company was not even in the parliamentary approval. The document that Parliament approved did not have your company. So your company was not approved by Parliament to carry out the work. And you should admit this in court when I speak to you. When they met in Justice Kulendi's house, this was one of the conversations they had. And Attorney General said, but your company was not there. So you have to admit it. If you don't admit it, you will be seen as an untruthful witness. And he said that Attorney General says that I should admit something that will incriminate Atuforsen. Today, he had to admit it. Jacka admitted. This is the thing that Attorney General, so you need to admit it, because if you challenge it, you are an untruthful witness because the documents are against you. This is the matter. This is the matter. So today he admitted it. He even admitted, and maybe I shouldn't say that. I'll say that when he gets there. I won't say it when he gets there. The matter is still on trial when he gets there. He admitted that the Big C was not part of the parliamentary approval. So the case is building up slowly. Big C was not part of the parliamentary approval. Big C was smuggled into the contract, or smuggled in quotes, I should say, into the contract. Eventually, the contract was ended. No ambulances were provided. The LC money had already been paid to Big C. Richard Jacka, as agent for the company that did not deliver the ambulance, earned 700,000 euro of Ghanaian money. Are we happy with that? If Ablakwa is happy with that, if Sami Jenfi is happy with that, if Johnson Asedun is happy with that, I cannot be happy with that. You shouldn't be happy with that. That somebody takes 700,000 euro that can feed plenty free SHS people. That can do plenty things. It went into Richard Jacka's pocket for absolutely no work done. This is why they didn't want the trial to get here. This is why they didn't want the cross-examination to happen. This is why Asidun Ketia said that if you have the recording of Godfrey Dame, let's go and do a press conference. And then when we do a press conference, Ghanaians will see that he's a bad person. And then. But darkness can never shine over light. In Presec we say, illuminatur videbimus lumen. In Latin it means, in thy light we shall see light. Darkness can never outshine the light. Illuminatur videbimus lumen. This is what has happened. That is why Sami Jefi cannot do press conference. Today he was standing there very, very disheartened, trying to manage some press conference. This is why they cannot. The person that they have stood behind is the most ridiculous character as far as the Ghana Armed Forces is concerned. This is the person that the biggest opposition party, the opposition party whose candidate is a former president of Ghana. This is the person that they brought, and the former commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of Ghana. John Dramani Mahama is a former commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. Johnson Asiedu Ketia brings somebody who the Ghana Armed Forces has described as all the words they use for him, and presents him as a paragon of virtue towards 2024 ballot box. Anyway, let's move on. Issues about commission paid to Richard Jacka. Whereas the agreement stipulated that Richard Jacka be entitled to 10% of the value paid, he ended up being paid 28%, even though he asserted that the total sum of 28% was as a result of other charges paid. Richard Jacka, in the circumstances, earned 700,000 euro for zero work done. 700,000 euro of Ghana Revenue Authority's money went into the pocket of Richard Jacka for what? Zero work done. Next Tuesday, cross-examination will continue on the Richard Jacka matter. This is going to be beautiful. It looks like a soap opera, doesn't it? That's how it looks. But always remember, viewers, that darkness can never ever shine over light. It cannot. Darkness cannot shine over light. And that's what we have seen. All right. Play me free SHS again. After that, maybe I'll play Pudon. Then I'll go to text messages. And then we have Petroleum Hub coming up. And we have the land issue. Okay, just free SHS. Just free SHS. Play it again.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's a meka no be ati as you say. Free SHS. Yen de buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's a meka no be ati as you say. Free SHS. Yen de buy.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
When today you are hearing Nana Akufo-Addo and the MPP going all over the country shouting free SHS, free SHS, free SHS. That is what you call all lie be lie.
That's a meka no be ati as you say. Free SHS. Yen de buy.
Ghana must not introduce free SHS on the whimsical promise of a desperate politician.
That's a meka no be ati as you say. Free SHS. Yen de buy.
That is what you call all lie be lie.
Alrighty, welcome back to the show. Thank you very much for your time. We're getting into the highway. It's all getting very interesting over here. Now, we have text messages as an interregnum. Now, before we get onto the touch screen to discuss land grabbing. Fatih, what are people saying?
Coming from General E.L. Coleman, and he says, please don't forget the NDC are experts in propaganda. They will always use that too to deceive many who don't search for details and credibilities, issues of national interest. Thank you for your education. Now, Kobe Johnson also says, no wonder Jacka is associated with NDC. Show me your friend and I'll show you your character. And I also says it's now clear that the NDC pushed Jacka to the grave. Yawa say Frempon says, with all the drama coming from our courts, it's now blatant why the NDC and Jacka were eager to discredit the AG. Imagining the unlikely event that these lots are given the mandate of Ghana again. Oh, I wish the special prosecutor could handle this case with such finesse to sanitize the system. Coming from Awudu Tijani says the chinks in Richard Jacka's armor are becoming glaringly obvious as the prosecution expertly unravels inconsistencies in his statements. The lack of parliamentary approval for the ambulance contract, coupled with Big C's lack of authorization for the ambulance conversion, paints a damning picture of collusion and financial impropriety. Jacka's pocketing of staging 28.7% of the money paid to Big C only adds fuel to the fire. And then lastly, coming from Kasim Abu Sadiki says, the journey to breaking the 8 has come to fruition by DMB choosing Napo as a running mate. This pair is really the future that Ghanaians have been waiting for. What do you have for us, Zanzibar?
Alright, so from Alaji Bob, he's saying, wow, so Jacka took 700,000 euro from our sweat and chop for free. No wonder the gymnastics and he's trying to do. No wonder the gymnastics he's trying to do to cover up the crime. Time will surely tell indeed. Watching you live from Old Trafford constituency. Regards to lawyer Vincent. Okay, Nanaya was saying, sound checked, graphics checked, presentation checked, analysis checked. Oh, you are on fire. Isaac Tete is saying, please play the full video of Prof. Nana. Kwabna Dentu is saying, all of a sudden, all the prime time political shows, especially Equus, is saying, have stopped reporting on the case. Lastly, from Samuel Ofosuba, Paul, so if Jacka had such vicious and ferocious characters in his CV, why should the learned Supreme Court judge shield him? Only in my beloved country would these paragon of virtues be hailed. God have mercy. Antoinette?
Right. General L. Coleman says that the chief demonstrator of anti-corruption being Honorable Ablakwa, is he actually happy about this ambulance issue at all? Because by now he should be on the street demonstrating against his own party. Now, Derek Ofei Jr. seems to be pleased with Paul's submission today. He says no one does journalism with so much conviction and decorum than the mighty Paul Adam Ochoa. His proclivity for the sheer fidelity to data in his act of elucidation is probably conspicuous in every reckoning. He is a fine work of art. No wonder he tickles the emotions of far too many. I would be consumed by utter trepidation if he opposed to my deeds. Wow, solid guy. Kobe Johnson is asking, he says, where are Imani and their leader Franklin calling the prosecution politically motivated? It's actually sad that all these characters are parading themselves as CSOs. Mark Nimakwe says that the 2024 electorate will actually not base their voting decisions on the implementation of the free SHS, but rather on the economic conditions via the hardships on the ground, the plethora of unfulfilled promises, and the gross incompetence in the economic management. That's the hat they would wear into the voting booth. Now, lastly, Awudu Tijani, he says that the chinks in Richard Jappa's armor are becoming glaringly obvious as the prosecution expertly unravels inconsistencies in his statement. The lack of parliamentary approval for the ambulance contract, coupled with Big C's lack of authorization for ambulance conversion, paints a damning picture of collusion and financial impropriety. Now, lastly, we have Alhaji Bob Sidi giving us a summary of today's cross-examination of Richard Jappa's ambulance trial. So I'll read the last bit of it. He says that the prosecution actually established in court that based on documentary evidence submitted by Jappa himself, Big C was registered as licensed for ambulance conversion in April 2015, whereas the contract with Big C was signed in 2012 and the ambulance were actually supplied in 2014. This would mean that at the time the contract was signed with Big C and at the time the vehicles were actually supplied in 2014, the company had no authorization whatsoever to convert vehicles into ambulances. Meanwhile, Jappa claims that Big C was authorized by the contract to convert some of the faulty vehicles into ambulances, and he asked Ghana under the NDC. Now over to you, Ella.
From Kwasby Airport, he says, why are we wasting so much time since 2017? These guys should have been in prison a long time ago. Kingsley says, good evening, Odadia Paul Adam. Your work is masterclass in analysis. You have a gift for cutting through complexity and getting to the heart of issues. I'm constantly impressed with your sharp mind and insightful commentary. You are a true asset to journalism. We tend to agree with you on that. Gina Agba says, propaganda would always come back to NDC, so they should continue doing everything in this nation. Everything they do in this nation must be used to do agenda. But we thank God that Ghanaians know them better, and we shall not let them come and lead Ghana again. This one is from Charles Quason. He says, I cannot eat 2 cedis Gary and 5 cedis fried fish to come and defend 700,000 euros loaded pockets. I am not sick. We should hold these people accountable. Edward says, a political party who want to come to power grants a press conference to support a thief who stole 700,000 euros in his pocket. God help us. Mary says, we do not have a short-term memory. Free free education 419 song is still on my mind. Paul, please kindly play that song to remind them. Lastly, from Master Planner, he said, Japa is making Ato Forson's case. The lions are always roaring, waiting to tear them down into pieces. Why is Sami Jenfi and Asiedun Ketia not organizing press conferences again? Over to you, Paul.
All right. Great. We'll do this very quickly and then we'll go to Petroleum Hub. So, Ella, let the guests take the seats and then we'll take it from there. All right. So I was saying last Tuesday, was it Tuesday? Yes, I said it. People were doubting, but it's true. Everyone now knows that it's true. John Dramani Mahama, our good friend, the Honorable Setekwe, a very honorable man, together gave Brian Achampong a big contract in 2014, one of the biggest contracts. That contract earned Brian Achampong's company multiple millions in fees. It has something to do with the Ministry of Finance. I know the details, but it's a contract. I don't want to say everything unless it becomes necessary. Now, this is my issue. When they talk about land grabbing, why have they sold Snit hotels to Brian Achampong? Why are they selling the military range to somebody to develop? Why? Why not? Children's Park. When I was 5 years old, we used to go to Children's Park. The way it was then, it is like, in fact, when you go there today, some of the seesaw we're using is still there today. When I grew up a little bit, sometime I think we're in Presec, they did something very massive there called Pork Show. I don't know those of you who remember. I like the video you're showing. So viewers, look at this video. This is the beach road from Labadi to Teshi to Nungwa. Look at the right-hand side. Look at this. If you go to Johannesburg, Singapore, London, New York, there'll be skyscrapers all the way. On the right-hand side is the sea. There'll be skyscrapers all the way along the sea to generate a beautiful tourism destination along the coast. Ghana has a sea that God has given to us. We should let this green thing be standing there, because Bendoche Malone will come and tell us that we have sold the military range. Why shouldn't we sell it? Is that what our children should come and meet? Those of us whose fathers are dead, they saw this. We are seeing this. Our children should see this. Every day Ghana should be like that. Then we are traveling to Dubai to go and watch skyscrapers. And if they are selling it to somebody to come and develop, there's a problem. The problem is that who are they selling it to? He's going to be too rich. What is wrong with our people that sometimes they say somebody is going to be too rich? What does it mean to say he's too rich? Here we are in Ghana. Some of us didn't stand up against my friend Manasseh Azuri. He said we should collapse Zoom Lion. Zoom Lion company should be dead in 2017. Manasseh Azuri was angry with President Akufo-Addo that he didn't jail Zoom Lion. Today, Lagos State has taken Zoom Lion. Are they more sensible than us? Lagos State, the Lagos State government, they've given Zoom Lion all their work to do. And he's growing. Yes, he's rich. Yes, he's going to be very rich. Yes, he's going to be even more rich. Didn't you read the Bible? God told, was it Jacob? That I will make you great and continue to make you great until you become very great. It's in the Bible. Google it. I will make you great and continue to make you great until you become very great. Why are we afraid of people becoming rich? Why? Why? If he becomes rich, what is the problem? If he is delivering a service to our people, and that is how people become rich anyway, all over the world, it is delivering a service to our people. If Brian Achampong can demonstrate that he has the wherewithal to turn Lapam Beach around and make it great, look at Elmina. When we go there, look at Elmina. Look at the way it's looking. Rich Royale is doing quite well. I'm happy with that. Can it become better? Why should government continue to own these things? In America, government owns nothing. Give me Franklin Kujo's thing if you still have it. Franklin Kujo, my friend at Imani, he put something up on Facebook on this one. And viewers, forgive me, I do Facebook plenty, so forgive me if I'm bringing Facebook things inside this. I do a lot of Facebook. Franklin Kujo posted something the other day and said that he has no problem with this Brian Achampong business. They should just look at the processes that happen. And then I get very upset with a person like Bendoche Malone, a man who has lived most of his life abroad. Most of his adult life, Bendoche Malone has been living in London. He used to work at the BBC at Holborn. And he saw London. And he says that military range, where we can take the soldiers to Bondasi, where there's a military base already, for them to do the shooting there, and transform the military range in 2024 to a powerful ecotourism seafront expression. So that young people in Teshi and Nungwa and Labadi can go to Labadi Beach Hotel and try and speak Ga with the people who work there. Everybody understands Ga. Because it is them who are working at Labadi Beach Hotel. It's not somebody from some island. It is our people giving our people jobs. and making the place nice and getting more people to come to Ghana, so that if you have a shop somewhere, somebody will come to Ghana from Singapore, he likes the coast, and he's going to buy something. He's going to do that. The economy then suddenly grows. See what countries like Egypt make out of tourism from the same coastal line that God has given us. And if a government decides that I'm going to transform this coastal line, Bendoche Malon, former BBC senior correspondent, United Nations senior correspondent, writes that thing on Facebook and say military range sold, children's park sold. You Bendoche Malon, you want children's park to remain the way it has been for 60 years? How can important people talk like that in Ghana? He's sitting in New York. How can important people talk like this because of ballot box? What is wrong with us? Bendoche Malon, tell him that I'm mentioning his name. He's my senior. But this is so embarrassing for somebody who has lived abroad like Bendoche Malon. It is totally embarrassing for him to come and write the thing he wrote on the Facebook that we are selling everything. Why shouldn't we sell it to develop it? We are selling it to develop it. When they were building Labadi Beach Hotel, it was the same problem. When Frimpong Watson was building Cardio, same problem. Every day we are fighting something that can grow. And because it is about an individual, he is making too much money. What are we talking about? That's Bendoche Malon. Ghana for sale. Teshi shooting range sold. Children's park sold. State lands in cantonments sold. When you go to cantonments these days, and you see the kind of buildings there. The other day, when war broke out in Abidjan, the African Development Bank wanted to relocate to Ghana, shift their office from Abidjan to Ghana. Do you know what happened? They came to Ghana and they said, the Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana is they don't have a hotel that can accommodate 600 people. They don't have coastline that has hotels there. Where are we going to do our conferences? They don't have accommodation for our staff. So they took the headquarters to Tunisia from Abidjan. Look at where Abidjan is. Look at where Accra is. They sent it to Tunisia, the African Development Bank. Do you know what it would have meant for us to have the African Development Bank here? Many years ago, President Akufo-Addo put his foot down that the Continental Free Trade Agreement will be hosted in Ghana. Do we have a building for it? He went around and said, Charlie, you guys put the building up. Continental Free Trade is coming here. They put up chain homes, private development. Chain homes was a military land that the Ghana force was not using. John Dramani Mahama decided to give it to a private developer. As a result of that, the Continental Free Trade executives live there. And Continental Free Trade is in Ghana. Bendoche Malon, what is wrong? You live abroad, don't you know these things? Are you what is wrong? Are you doing that because of ballot box? By all means, let's fight the ballot box, but let's make Ghana first. Let's put Ghana first. By all means, let's fight the ballot box. Democracy is about fighting for the ballot box, but let's put Ghana first. What is this? Because of politics, you want to show that MPP are a bad party. Look at what is a whole big man like that, Bendoche Malon. Look at what is written. Look at what is written. My producer doesn't want me to go on, so he's bringing me other pictures. Bendoche Malon, pa. Look at what is written. Big man like that. Important person, intelligent man like this. Ballot box because you come and write these things here. Oh! You didn't find a Franklin Kujo, eh? When you find it, then you give it to me. Oh, it's still Bendoche Malon. So, this is my thesis. And next time we'll open the phone lines on this. If the land has to be sold to develop, by all means, let's sell it. Our principal concern should be, yes, this is Franklin Kujo. He says, frankly, Snit has done nothing wrong divesting the hotels. Alternative sale values should be suggested by those who disagree. Finally, I am yet to hear any concrete proof that Brian Achampong stole public money to engage in any business. Those are the matters that really matter. I will never support any government entity to manage commercial enterprise in Ghana. Franklin Kujo is not an NDC or MPP. He's Imani. He's right-wing civil society. And he's against corruption. We all know that. Both he and Bright Simmons. Bendoche Malon, come and learn from Franklin Kujo. Bendoche Malon, BBC, come and learn from Franklin Kujo. The man has worked at BBC and worked at UN. Look at what he wrote. Come and learn from Franklin Kujo. Frankly, Snit has done nothing wrong divesting the hotels. Alternative sale values should be suggested by those who disagree. Samuel Jemfi, Franklin Kujo is calling you. He says, come and suggest alternative value. Come and do it. Suggest it. Alternative value. Don't just come and say, Okujo to Blackwa, he will mount something and take the thing that Rollins used to hold in 79 here in Boachijan. Then he's shouting, we are going on Aluta. Brian Achampon is too rich. He has to come to our level. Nobody should be rich. Only all of us should be the same. Brian Achampon cannot be rich. That's what Okujo to Blackwa was doing. Ablakwa from Prese, come and see what Franklin Kujo is telling you. He says, bring alternative and let us see. We must nip that spirit in the bud in this country. It's an evil spirit. That Manasseh spirit that hates rich people. Manasseh Azuri, his spirit, he and Suleiman Brahma, they hate rich people. All of us should be the same. Pull them down. That spirit, we must kill it now and evermore, so that tomorrow Ghana will be different. Kufuor declared the golden age of business in 2001. Frankly, Snit has done nothing wrong divesting the hotels. Alternative sale values should be suggested by those who disagree. Finally, I'm yet to hear any concrete proof that Brian Achampon stole public money to engage in any business. Those are the matters that really matter. That's what matters. What matters is what is the process that they went through. What matters is that is the state being shortchanged. But the Bendoche Malon thinks that we should leave the green grass like that. The whole coastal line, we should leave it green grass like that. 2024. When even America is racking up its tourism potential. One of the biggest countries in the world, the United States, China, they are racking up their tourism. Russia, racking up their tourism potential. Bendoche Malon sits in New York of all places and says that we should leave the green grass like that. We shouldn't sell it. We should leave it because somebody is going to be rich. Please, let's stand up for truth. We don't go cheat us every day. No. We don't go sit down and make the cheat us every day. No. You remember the song, those who are old. All right. Let's see what Elizabeth Ohini wrote. And then I'll end there. And then we continue. Let's see what Elizabeth Ohini wrote. Do they have it? Is it coming? Okay, I'm sure it will be coming very soon. Mr. Producer, have you sent me the questions? Please send it. Aha! Selection of Rock City for Snit Hotels, clean, transparent. Elizabeth Ohini. Okay, should I go to a lot more? The board chair of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, Elizabeth Ohini, has justified the integrity of the process that led to the selection of Rock City Hotel as a preferred company to acquire 60% stake in 4 Snit hotels. In an article titled Coming Out of the Hotels, Ohini stated that she would assume responsibility and expect to be prosecuted if any evidence of corruption is found in the process leading up to the decision to pick Rock City Hotel owned by Agricultural Minister Brian Achampon. According to her, the process was transparent and adhered to all relevant regulations. She emphasized that Snit did not seek the president's permission because it is not obliged to do so. Quote, I am able to say with the utmost certainty that the process that led to the selection of Rock City as a preferred bidder was clean, above board, and met every rule and regulation and can withstand every scrutiny. Mr. Okujeto Ablakwa claims to have God and Ghana on the side of his campaign, and I will hope all of God's angels and Ghana's investigative agencies, temporal and spiritual, would examine the process and tell the world if they find any irregularity or trace of corrupt practices. Indeed, if they should find any evidence of corruption, I will assume and accept responsibility and expect to be prosecuted. She added, Mr. Okujeto Ablakwa appears to know something that I don't know. Must I add? I have nothing useful to add. Let me get onto the table. Where's my pen? It's in my pocket. Okay. Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm fine, you.
Thank you very much for coming to the studio, and sorry that we bothered you with all our politics. Petroleum Hub is such a fantastic idea. Tell us about it.
Thank you, Paul, and good evening to your viewers.
Yeah.
So Petroleum Hub is one of the transformative initiatives put out by the president in 2017 and seeking to make Ghana the Rotterdam of Africa. That's how the president put it. And this project is seeking to build 3 refineries with a capacity of 300,000 barrels per stream day.
Oil refineries?
Yes.
3?
3.
Oh.
That will give you...
Including Tema or excluding Tema?
Excluding Tema. This is an export-driven strategy. So we are located in Jomro.
Jomro in the Western region?
Western region. So
my father-in-law's hometown.
Yeah. We are building 3 refineries. Each capacity is 300,000 barrels per stream day. So that will give you 900,000 barrels per stream day. We are building 5 petrochemical plants.
Who is we?
Ghana leading. So this is government-led by private sector development. Yes. So 5 petrochemical.
What's this? What are we seeing on the TV? What are we seeing now? Tell us about this.
So this is the story about Petroleum Hub. So right from September 2021, that the board was inaugurated on the 7th September, the board has been going on attracting investors to come in. As we said, this is not coming from the consolidated fund. The amount of this whole project is $60 billion US.
You are raising 60 billion?
Yes, US dollars. And last week, Tuesday, on the 18th of June, we signed our first phase agreement, estimated $12 billion US. So that we have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So phase 2 is 27 billion and phase 3 is 21 billion, giving you the 60 billion US I was talking about.
Wow. So who is leading it in Ghana? Is it the Ministry of Energy? Who is leading it?
So there's an agency known as the Petroleum Hub Development Corporation, which I am the CEO.
Yes.
So it's an agency under the Ministry of Energy. So the purpose of this agency to become a one-stop services that will attract investors, more like promoting to attract investors, and also ensure that these investors are financially capable and technically well to be able to produce this or construct this refineries, petrochemical plant, the storage, and the jetties. So we have the key infrastructure and we have the ancillaries. The ancillaries, we are looking at transportation, so road, rail, airfield. Then utilities, we are looking at...
It looks like a serious project.
Yes.
What is the duration to realize it?
So each phase has 5 years, so we are looking at 50 years.
50 years?
Yes, so
wow.
5 years for each phase.
Okay.
And so in 3 phases, we are looking at 15 years. And that is costing the 60 billion. It's going to create 780,000 jobs. And
in the oil sector?
Yes. And today you are talking about free SHS. So the idea of the president drumming home about TVET, this project is going to absorb 780,000. And you know, TVET, this whole project, petrochemical industry, will be absorbing about 80% of this free SHS coming in terms of pipe fitters, welders, electricians, petrochemical engineers, and all of that. So that is the idea. But this whole project is not looking at Ghana. It's in line with Africa Continental Free Trade. So it's an export driven. We import, if you look at the data, Africa alone, 2021, we imported 43 million petroleum products. 2022, it moved to 45 million. Last year, then it dropped 44.5 million in terms of metric tons. So the product we are looking at, petrol, diesel, jet fuel, LPG. So that is what we're seeking to ensure that we monetize our sea. You were talking about, are we sitting down? We are saying we are in the middle of the world. The president's vision is to be able to monetize this. We are in the middle of the world because we are closer to everywhere in terms of movement. And if we take the Jomro location, the depth for such trading destination is very critical. So you see Takoradi is not able to expand because of the depth of their sea. But this Jomro, we are looking at 16 meters to 27 meters depth.
Of the sea?
Yes, and Ghana Maritime Authority did this exercise. And it's above international standards, so any vessels can dock. So the huge vessels, we are looking at 250,000 metric ton to 350,000 metric ton. And that is the vision of the president. And last week, Tuesday, 18th, we signed the first phase to be able to start the construction. So come August, we'll do the ground break. September, the feed, that's the front-end engineering design will commence. And first quarter of 2025, next year, the construction will begin. The phase 2 and phase 3 negotiations are seriously ongoing. That very soon, 48 billion will also be announced. And that is what we are looking at.
Is that the inauguration of the board?
Yes, this is the inauguration of the board on the 7th September. That was done by the current Minister for Energy. Honorable Dr. Matthew Poku Prempeh. So the idea is now to shift the attention to the downstream sector. You know, the petroleum industry have the up, the mid, and the down.
Who is the mid?
The mid is what we are trying to do.
Okay.
So then Ghana will become vertical integrated oil and gas country. So now you're able to explore, you're able to refine, that's adding value. Then you're able to sell, like the normal trading, the normal retail, going to the OMC market and all of that. But the focus of this project is not for the domestic market. It's for the...
It's to refine the oils for the oil to go away.
Yes.
To be sailed
export,
away.
yes.
How does Ghana benefit then?
Great. So one is jobs.
Fundamentally.
Two is to put our name out there globally, because there's no hub in Africa. This is going to be the first of its kind in Africa. There's no petroleum hub. People construe refinery and a hub. There's no hub in Africa. So that is one thing. And also, in terms of pricing reference, we don't have pricing reference for ECOWAS or the continent. So leveraging on the after, we'll be able to have maybe ECOWAS pricing reference, then the continent. And that will also dovetail into even the crude pricing. So you have the crude pricing reference for Africa, then you have the petroleum product pricing reference. Currently, we are all using Platts and Argus. So in Ghana, with the exception of LPG, everything is referenced with Platts. So, but LPG is referenced with Argus. So that is what the benefit is going to also come, and also support our pump prices. You know, once it increases, affect everything. So that's what we are also going to do, because now instead of going to Rotterdam or Singapore to pick product, you are picking it here in Jomro, which reduces your transportation and also affect a lot of people to come. So it's going to affect our financial institution, because you need LCs like 1 billion, millions of dollars.
Our
banks are going to go up, our aviation. So for instance, there's going to be a major airport that will affect Central, Western.
Has Christianity always been one of the religions in the world to you?
Oh, hallelujah. Christianity is not a religion, neither is it a joining of a church and doing